Avoiding insulin spikes does not just mean to avoid refined sugar. In fact, there's a little bit more you need to know, but don't worry, I'm gonna explain, so let's dive right in. All right, so insulin spikes, they are not healthy at all. They make your body feel stressed, very, very stressed. If you pay attention to the symptoms, you might also feel tired and overall not good. So you want to know which foods are going to lead to an insulin spike? Here they are. Soda, for example, Coke, Sprite, and all of those things. Fruit juices too, orange juice, apple juice, grape juice, all of those. Also, of course, everything that is sweetened with sugar, but also sweetened with honey, it's the same thing, and syrup, maple syrup, for example. Um, Bread leads to a very big spike in insulin, and also pasta. So these foods, they are spiking your insulin levels. But it's not the only foods that spike insulin levels. These are, though, in my eyes, the most important to pay attention to. So as you see, not all of those foods contain added sugars. Fruit juices, for example, they don't have any refined sugars. They have natural sugars, but they do spike insulin levels. Okay, so we're gonna have a look at somebody who has not diabetes, and we're gonna look at his blood sugar level over time. So here you can see the blood sugar, which should be about between 70 and 140 about, which is this range here. It should be always in between here, about. Can also go a little bit up or down, depending on what that person does and eats and moves and so on, but it should be in that range most of the time. Here you see the time, and let's think about somebody eating something in the morning. So this person is waking up between 6 o'clock, and his blood sugar is pretty normal at about 100. He eats a healthy breakfast. Let's say some natural yogurt with nuts, seeds, and blueberries. It doesn't have lots of carbs, but some, and that will lead to a slight blood sugar rise, which is totally normal, and then the blood sugar will go back down. That will take some time. There's always slight changes in blood sugar levels. That's all normal. How does the blood sugar go down again? No, that is caused by the insulin. Insulin is needed to live. If you would not have insulin in your body, you would die very quickly. That's why type 1 diabetics who don't produce any insulin themselves anymore have to inject insulin. If you don't have insulin, the blood sugar would just raise after food, and it will go up, up, up until you can't live anymore. So what a healthy metabolism does is, as soon as it realizes a slight change in blood sugar, and it is very precise here, it'll release insulin, that's that blue curve here, and that insulin will make it go down to normal. That insulin causes the sugar out of your blood to get into the cells, out of the blood. That's a perfectly healthy person eating something pretty healthy. Let's have a look now at somebody who eats something not so healthy. He can also be a non-diabetic, but he's not going to eat something healthy. He's going to eat some insulin spiking foods. He's also waking up at 6 o'clock, has a normal blood sugar, and here he eats something. Let's say he's going to have a glass of orange juice with some white bread and Nutella on top. Very many of those foods I mentioned earlier, which lead to an insulin spike. Before the insulin spike happens, the blood sugar is what we should look at. So the blood sugar will raise after that food very fast and very high. It will spike up like crazy. Then the body notices that spike, and it's super stressed. The body is super stressed by that blood sugar spike, and it releases a lot of insulin all at once. And the blood sugar then will go back down, and it's going to go into a little crash. It's going to go lower than it was before it stabilizes itself again and goes back to normal. So this is the problem here. We do have an insulin spike, we do have a blood sugar spike out of the range, and we do have a minor hypoglycemia. Hard word for me as a German. It's low sugar. So we'll talk about this in a minute, what this actually does, but we have two problems with these insulin spiking foods. We have a high blood sugar and an insulin spike, and we do have a low sugar. And sometimes this is even lower than this. Sometimes this goes even down here. So you see all foods that contain carbs do lead to a blood sugar raise and an insulin spike, some more and some less. The problem is the bad carbs. All of those bad carbs, the foods I was mentioning earlier, they all have something in common. They have simple carbs. They're not complex, they're simple, which means that they don't or they barely contain any fiber. And that means that they get digested super fast from your body. The body is able to take the energy out of it so fast, which will lead to this extreme rise in blood sugar and then to this extreme rise in insulin. So why are insulin spikes actually bad for you? Well, there's so many reasons, but I try to bring it to the point. So eating a lot of such simple carbs lead to a real energy roller coaster. They're super exhausting for your body to constantly level out your blood sugar and your insulin level. This over a long period of time will make you less and less sensitive for this insulin, which will lead in the end to type 2 diabetes and a lot of other health issues. And also, the third very important reason for higher insulin levels not being good is that as soon as you have a lot of insulin in your blood, it triggers your body to store more fat. It leads to weight gain. I'm going to explain this in one of my next videos, so stay tuned for that. All right, so if you are interested in how to keep a stable blood sugar and a stable insulin level during the day, then definitely watch this video here. If you want to know more about this topic, how you can keep your blood sugar levels under control, then I recommend you watching this video here. I'm talking about a hack which will make this possible more in your daily life. I definitely recommend this. This is really something most diabetics don't even know about. I also didn't knew for way too long time. So check it out. What's important to remember from this video though is to always try to add fiber to whatever you eat. That means that your insulin spike is not going to be too bad. And the easiest way to do this is by adding vegetables to your foods. And also just try to not eat that stuff what I mentioned earlier too many times. Not every day, not every morning or so. Okay, I hope this video was helpful for you. Maybe you can show me by liking this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a comment and I'm going to come back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching and see you next time.